Arr! Hello, mateys. Jude, what is wrong? Have you lost it? Oh, I'm dressed like a pirate. Look, I got just the one earring. I got this thing which had the skull and crossbones on it, but I couldn't tie it so you could see it so you get a spider's web. But come on, I'm a pirate. We're going to talk about rum. Grog, you betcha. I haven't done a rum show yet, have I? So I'm going to make the classic, fabulous daiquiri. Daiquiri, dude, you mean like when I was in college and I got these big like red things and they were slushies, like adult slushies, and you just drank them and then the next day it was like, oh my God, daiquiri hangover. Yeah, no, not like that. Not like that at all. We're going to do the classic, basic daiquiri, which is it's a classy drink. It's not like an adult slushy. Okay, it's not like something where you put this in it. What is that, Jude? It's coconut, but it says real gourmet cream of coconut. Let's read the ingredients, shall we? Coconut, good start. Oil, sugar, glycerol, salt, mono and diglyceride, sodium alginate, potassium sorbate, xanthan. You get the idea. None of that's going in my daiquiri. In fact, if you're going to start adding stuff to your daiquiri, by all means do it. Throw it in a blender, slush it up, put some real coconut in it, real coconut milk or real pineapple or real strawberry, whatever you want to do. But let's keep it healthy. Oh, that's kind of a joke, right? We're drinking alcohol, Jude, I know, but it's fresher, it tastes so much cleaner and better. I'm going to give you the basic daiquiri thing. Jude, what's rum? Talk about rum to us. You haven't done rum yet. No, I haven't. You're right. Rum. Rum is fermented and distilled sugarcane molasses or sugarcane juice. So while there's not like a worldwide definition of what rum has to have in it or how long it has to be aged, and sometimes even what it comes from, that's basically it. And the majority of the rums that we are familiar with come from the Caribbean. In fact, Puerto Rico, although, back in the day, India produced rum, they may still, the Philippines were big in producing rum. We can trace rum back to the middle of the 17th century and actually earlier. If you broaden your definition of any sort of, fermented and distilled alcohol that came from sugar or sugar cane. But the basic rum, and we associate it with who? People on ships and pirates, VG pirates, you betcha. So also, I talked to you a little bit about the British Navy. Do you remember when we were making the whiskey sour? We were giving them just a little bit of credit because there was this vice admiral of the British Navy, and I think his name was Vernon. I looked it up again because he should be given some credit, where he decided to give sailors rations of alcohol and then with citrus, so that they could, water it down and not be drunk. But because the water would get contaminated on these long trips over across the ocean, and so drinking spirits, watering it down with citrus to help them with scurvy. We talked about scurvy. The sad part about rum, though, the sad part, it has a colorful past, but not always a good past either, because, there's this like triangle of trade back in the, 17th, 18th century. And the slave trade, the slavers over on the African side were paid initially with brandy, but then when rum became the popular drink, they were paid in rum. Rum was like a means of payment, a form of money. So too bad, but nowadays it's an alcoholic beverage. So what kind of rums are there? I know that when we look, if Jude doesn't drink a lot of rum, I don't dislike it. It's outstanding. There's going to be some good cocktails coming out of it. In fact, I'll do 2 more after this. I'll do the mojito next time, and the time after that, we'll do the cosmopolitan, so you Sex in the City people can get your fix. But I do enjoy it. I just don't know a lot about it. I don't drink it a lot. The white, or this is the kind we're using. Don't get on me for the Captain Morgan, it was either that or Bacardi. This one looked cooler because there's a pirate on it. Is typically you would use for cocktails, you're going to use the white rum or the clear rum. And then they have a blonde rum, which is aged longer. And then they have a dark rum, which is sometimes aged in barrels that were used to age and to create whiskey bourbon, which they can't reuse. So, you know, you get a darker rum. Sometimes they're spiced. Then there's the flavored rums. Let me tell you about the flavored rums. That flavor is added after the fermentation and distillation. And it's usually like some chemicals that are created to taste like food. So flavor your own rum, you know, flavor your own rum. Don't buy that stuff. Well, you know what, if you like it, go get it, matey. But, you know, flavor your own rum. So today, the basic daiquiri. If you want to take this baby and then throw it in a blender with fruits and ice and have an adult slushy, God love you. You do that. But this is a Sublime drink. This was a very adult drink. It was a very popular classic drink, pre-prohibition. And, you know, we do associate it with, you know, sort of the Caribbean. So it's summer. Well, okay, technically it's still spring, but you know what? It's beautiful, warm day. You know, Max is laying down here snoring, and it's a perfect day for a daiquiri. It's very refreshing. Anything with like lime juice is just like, yeah. So this is a simple drink. 2 ounces of white rum. If you have a problem with this, go get this expensive stuff. And then we're going to put an ounce of fresh lime in it. And then we're going to use a 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Yeah, I'm still saying syrup. So remember I told you simple syrup is just half sugar, half water. Now for my earlier drinks, I made a darker one where I used brown, like raw cane sugar. So I'm going to use that one today because it's a little bit more of a caramel taste. The best daiquiri would be made with a demerara syrup, which is using turbinado sugar. I'm not familiar with turbinado. I mean, I've seen it. I've never used it, but they say that it really kind of has some nice dark, like caramelized, molassesy tasting that would bring out some of the nice parts of this that has, you know, that is distilled molasses. So if you find turbinado sugar, you can also make it out of honey. You can do half honey, half water. You can make simple syrup out of any sort of sweetener that you want. You know, it's just same equal parts, usually. Try it out, do what you like. But I'm going to use the darker one today. I've already poured it here. And by the way, I never said this, that if you make enough of it, it keeps in the refrigerator maybe up to a month. So, you know, don't just do a teeny bit. You know, if you're going to be making cocktails, go ahead by all means and do that. So we're going to start by we're going to serve this in a chilled coupe glass today. But we're going to, you could use a martini glass. I guess you could do it on the rocks, but why? Why would you? I don't know. I don't know why you would. So we're going to put ice in I got a new shaker. It's the Boston shaker, kind of like the bartenders use. I'm kind of scared. You know, it might spill all over me. I might not be able to get the cover off, but anyways, let's just do the recipe and go for it, right? So 2 ounces of your white rum, mateys. I think I'd make a great pirate, don't you? Outstanding. But like not the pirates of today, those kind of like, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean. I think I'd have been cool, you know, pirate in the Caribbean. Just because I'd like to be hanging out in the Caribbean. So there's our white rum. And then I'm just going to pour this in there, the 1/2 ounce because I'm just afraid I'm going to spill it. It's filled right to the top of your simple syrup. There it is. And then I'm not going to measure this. Basically 1 ounce of lime is, you know, just do a whole lime, squeeze a whole lime in there and try to do it better than I do because I'm not really good at this because my hands tend to be so weak for some reason. They shouldn't be because Max is always pulling me. They should be very strong. So yeah, a 1/2 lime is about I think I just squeaked. I squirted you guys. Hope it didn't get you in the eye. 1/2 ounce is about a 1/2 lime, so a full ounce is about a full lime. I'm just going for it without measuring. It's kind of hard to squeeze this in This is where I would not be a good bartender. I would not look cool doing this. There we go. Okay. I want to do that ahead of time, but I kind of think you know, then you're like, well, how do I really know that was fresh lime juice? You could have just bought some. Okay, so there you go. You saw that kind of klutzy way I did that. Take a shaker. Interesting.
I'm looking around, and once again, I don't have a strainer. But you know what? I'm just going to reach over. Instead of putting you on pause, this isn't the right strainer, but it should work. Okay. So we're going to hope this doesn't leak on me. Shake it really good. The simple syrup is a syrup. It's a little bit thicker. So you want to get it mixed in there good. If I had $100 for every mistake I made when filming this, I could retire. I could go to the Caribbean and be a pirate. Okay, now the hard part is getting it off. I see them doing this in the bars. There, it's coming off. I think I want to do it this way though, don't I? No, I don't want to do it this way. That's the way you want to do it. You want to have the bigger one, right? Somebody send me a message and let me know if I'm doing this right. Okay. Either way, there's my drink. I'm going to take out my coupe glass, which I have with ice in it, which is now stuck into it. Okay, and we'll use the wrong strainer, but it'll hold the ice back. Pour it in there. And does that look outstanding? Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, a super fresh daiquiri. No slushy, no straw, no colors other than just the beautiful look of lime. Ice cold. It's a warm day. I'm gonna try it. Salute. That's a classic drink. Why am I not drinking this all the time? I really do enjoy it. You know, one thing that, you know, you might see people double strain things. You might want to do that. I don't have a little strainer. Basically, to double strain is just to take a little strainer, and it catches the little ice chips that might, you know, kind of break off. I don't really mind having a few ice chips in there. It just makes it cold as can be, but it also dilutes your drink. Just saying. So this is good. You could add fruit in there. It would be, you know, squeeze a little strawberry juice in there. Wow, you know, what goes with lime? All sorts of citrus. You can do anything you want and have a really, really great drink. But just like this, it's a classic. So next time, I promise the mojito. You need to get yourself some mint because there's lots of mint in it. Cheers. Thanks for watching, mateys. We'll catch you on another show, Boozing with Jude. Have a good one.